So how do we interpret multiple regression? Here we have the model that we just calculated using multiple regression, y equals 0.05 x1, which is cognitive ability, plus 0.12 x2, which is conscientiousness, minus 5.25. So what this means, the, the important thing to notice is that these are positive coefficients. As the cognitive ability goes up, the expected performance goes up for both of them. Now this minus 5.25, that's actually not very important, and you'll never see any discussion of that constant in the literature. But what we focus on are these coefficients. Now, literally what this means is that the estimated performance score for engineers is 0.05 or 5% of their ability score plus 12% of the conscientious score minus 5.25. But like I said, what really counts is the coefficient positive or negative? Because if the coefficient was negative, that would mean as conscientiousness goes up, performance goes down. Now, it turns out in industrial psychology, in employee selection, that these two variables, ability and conscientiousness, are almost always positive. These are like two of the main traits that you want to hire people for. You want to try to get the smartest, most able person for the job, and then also the most conscientious and most disciplined person for a job. And so that's why they're just really pretty important variables in all of industrial and organizational psychology. So that's one key takeaway from the result here. Now, another way of interpreting multiple regression is to look at the R squared. Remember, the R squared is how much variable in the data is accounted for, how much variation in the independent variables, how much that contributes to the dependent variables. And in model 1, where we just had the ability, y equals 0.07x minus 7.0, the R squared was 0.73. So 73% of the variability in performance was accounted for by the ability score. Now in this model 2, however, even though the coefficient for ability goes down, we've got the coefficient for conscientiousness, and this R squared went up to 0.91. So 91% of the variability in performance was accounted for by the two variables, ability and conscientiousness. And so this shows that model 2 is better because it accounts for 91% of the variation versus only 73% for the first model.